What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Tell Mom podcast.
What episode are we on, Cullen?
Oh, 102.
102. Almost 2 years of this.
After we got back to the even numbers, I was like, oh, I can keep track now. Or the 100, I was like, oh, good.
Well, in case y'all are just now joining us, we are the brother-sister duo that talk about anything and everything that we want, whenever we want, and even the stuff that you can't tell Mom about.
I got pit stains. You see that? I got pit stains.
Ooh,
that's
nasty.
Crazy. We are actually over here at my casa today, down in the dungeon. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm able to do anything on YouTube or in editing, but depending on what's behind us, we're in the city of Birmingham, Alabama.
I told him, put me right in the street, right in the action.
Right in the action. And this is, golly, something I don't know.
Today, well, first of all, y'all, today is Tuesday and it's Blackout Tuesday.
Yes.
So even though we, have been so good about every Tuesday posting a podcast, we have
even with babies,
I had a baby,
born.
And still we posted on Tuesday. But today we said, this is Tuesday. This is actually Tuesday that we're doing this podcast, but we're not going to post it, I think, until tomorrow. Because we're participating in the Blackout Tuesday and letting other voices be heard today instead of our bumbling
listening and learning. Yeah, just kind of. If you've been on social media at all, every time I open my phone, I have to scroll. I'm like, wait, is my phone? Do I need to restart my phone? Because everybody is just blacked out on everything. It's a weird, hard.
This is the craziest year of my life. I'll tell you that much. What's next? Because we had the COVID. Is that over?
That's what we were just talking about that. Seeing all the stuff in the streets, I'm like, I know they're wearing masks and stuff, but even the protests, everybody's shoulder to shoulder, and
I feel like this is coronavirus's halftime show. Of the worst year of our lives. It's like we got the pandemic, and then all this, and then George Floyd lost his life, and so that all the protests are happening, which is just devastating. And to add to the devastation that we're already in the unease and the fear that we're all already going through, now we have the riots and the looters and stuff that are unfortunately taking the spotlight away from the peaceful protesters.
Yes.
But all this chaos and confusion is going on with that, and then I feel like because of that, and because so many people are getting back out, it's happening right now while we're trying to reopen our country and the economy. I feel like because of so many people gathering and getting together for something, which obviously is a huge deal and such a big cause. I think it's gonna cause the coronavirus to flare back up. That's just hopefully that doesn't happen. That's just what I feel like is gonna happen. So it just feels like it's gonna be one thing after another.
I know. I'm
scared.
I'm scared. Yeah, I was just watching some videos about any time you go on the internet, you see videos of. You can't not see these videos of everything going on, and it's scary. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, 10 years ago, I would have been out there, participating as far as physically, but right now, just being, I guess, more wise in I don't know, that it's really, I feel like I've got to tiptoe around what I say because I don't want it to be twisted in any way.
We actually, before we turned the podcast on and started this show, we said, of course we're going to touch on it. It's such a big topic that we can't not touch on it, but like I told Cullen, I said, I'd almost rather just talk about anything else but the coronavirus and the riots and stuff. But we just can't ignore what's going on in the world around us. And but for me personally, Cullen, we actually sat here for a few minutes and Cullen was showing me videos of everything that's kind of been going on. And for those of you that don't already know, I just had a baby 2 weeks ago. She's 2 weeks and a couple days old. And I've literally been at the house. My husband is off for maternity leave, basically. So he's been home. He's about to go back to work tomorrow. But he's been home. We've just been in this little bubble. Mm-hmm. So I haven't been on the news. And I've seen the news. We watch the news. We try to in the morning until the baby's starts going crazy. So we're aware of kind of what's going on, but not by any means have I dove into it. I don't get on Twitter. I don't really get on. I post stuff on my Instagram, but I don't scroll through a lot. And Facebook. That's probably the most one I use is Facebook. So with my personal friends and stuff. But
yeah, I had to get off Facebook the other day. Katie did too. I was like, I just can't even with some of the posts that you see because it's just like some of them are in support, some of them are. I mean, anything I feel like we say is going to get rebuttal, which rightfully so. Everybody has the right to say what they want to say and their opinions and all that. It's just the whole. Let me back up.
Well, it's natural for you and I think because the way we were brought up is to just not talk about these sensitive subjects. You know what I mean? Like that's ingrained in us is to stay away from talking in public or talking, at a party or something about. Money, politics, those kind of sensitive subjects, religion, those kind of sensitive subjects. So when something like this is happening, it's also, and everybody's got such a strong opinion on it. Mm-hmm. It's my immediate reaction is to not give them an opinion on it.
Yeah, I feel like the more silent I am, the more it'll just go away. Right. But that's not the case this time. This is back to back. The history books in 20 years are just going to have a shit show for 2020. But again, rightfully so with everything that's been going on, especially recently. Yeah. The whole thing with Floyd, it's so heartbreaking, and I've watched that video several times. I didn't even mean to the first time. I was just like, oh, what is this? I saw, I think Philly D shared or somebody on Twitter share it, and I don't know if have you seen it?
No, I mean that's what I'm saying is that I'm like so ignorant, and so there's a lot of confusion. Like you just showed me more than I've seen in the last since any of this has happened. So in the last 20 minutes that he sat here and let me see videos and stuff and was showing me like the highlights. Cullen, you've informed me, so this is like literally my reaction to. I'm like, oh my god, is this really what's been going on while I've been at home with my baby?
Yeah, that was just the surface, scratching the surface. Like for instance, this podcast has been recording for about 6 minutes or so, 7 minutes, and the cop, the guy that got arrested finally for third-degree murder, he had his knee on the back of detained with his handcuffs behind his back with 3 other police officers surrounding him on the back of his neck, his knee on the back of his neck for 8 minutes, 8 or 9 minutes, close to 9 minutes. And almost three of those minutes, he was unconscious.
Yeah,
like he was already no pulse in that.
And then for several minutes before that, he was saying, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe."
Yeah, right? Losing his bodily functions. You could see just.
Did that happen? Really?
Yeah, and so.
Oh my god!
It's like, and the other 3 cops were just standing there. So, at what point, though, does it go from... Okay, so we all know that there's good cops and bad cops in the world.
It's people. They're people. Take the uniform off of these folks.
Right.
It's good people and bad people.
And we all know that there's racism in the world, and there has been for centuries, and there will be forever, I would assume. I mean, it's just... That's the nature of the world that we live in.
I think the most accurate thing I've seen on that subject is Will Smith's thing that said, it's not getting worse, it's getting filmed. Like, this has been going on for a long time, but now we have the ability to film it and put it on social media and share it with the whole world in a matter of seconds.
Instantly, yeah. So, if you break it back down to good cop versus bad cop versus racism or not racist, I think there's a fine line or a gray line or a black line or whatever color you want it to be that is getting kind of enmeshed. And again, I've got to be careful with how I say it because I don't want it to come off wrong. But at the end of the day, the cop, no matter what color he was doing, that was wrong. He was not. That was an illegal, or you're not trained to do that.
No.
Keep your knee on somebody's neck for that long. That was like
when they pass out or whatever.
Right. So, regardless of if he was racist or not, he was wrong. He killed somebody. No matter what color he is at this point, if you just look at
like power hungry piece of shit person,
just a shitty ass,
he's a murderer,
right. And now, because of his color and because of the color of Floyd, that's where it's all getting, and because everybody's been cooped up in their house with COVID, and because everybody's starting to get back out, I think it was just like a freaking nuclear bomb of everything. And again, I'm not trying to discredit anybody's stance on Black Lives Matter or any race, creed, or color. I mean, we all, I think having mom, and I was going to post this on our Don't Tell Mom Instagram that I haven't yet. We grew up not knowing necessarily the difference in color. I mean, it was just, you can say we grew up in a quote-unquote bad part of town, and whenever you hear that first and foremost, I would assume a lot of people, if I were to say this to myself 10 years ago, oh, they grew up in a bad part of town, you automatically think because of the color of the people in the town. But I think it was mainly, it wasn't
we
just...
didn't have any money, and we were poor, and a lot of our neighbors
because of the vandalism. And, I think it was more of the acts of the community, like people were breaking into cars.
Yeah.
I don't know what color they were. It was just one of those, when we say we grew up in a bad part of town for a little bit of our teenage years or middle school, elementary, I don't know. Color just never really
color ever.
Yeah.
You know, we played with the neighbors, we played with the kids that were across the street from us, and I think, you know, there was once when I'm 5 or 6 years old, I said, "Mommy, why are they different color than me?" You know what I mean? And that was like the only time it was ever brought up, and it was like, they're just people of all different kinds of color, baby. You know, It don't matter. So there was never like a.
And I saw a good video on this. This dad called his son into a room, and he had 4 pictures pulled up on the screen, and they were all of a black kid and a white kid hugging, a black kid and a white kid touching each other's face, playing on a playground, a black kid and a white kid with their arms wrapped around each other. And he asked and it was a white kid and on the couch sitting there, and the dad goes, "What do you see in these pictures?" He said, 2 kids playing. He said, "What do you see in this picture?" You know, he just kind of tried to point out everything. He said, "I see tall grass. What's that kid doing to that kid in that picture?"
Yeah.
He's just touching his cheek or giving him a kiss on the forehead.
Right.
There was no mention of the color of their skin. And
you're not born racist.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You're taught that, and that's one of the big takeaways about all this. I think is the way that people are raised and taught is different than other people because of the centuries in the past. And I'm like sitting here like so nervous to say the wrong thing in the wrong way, but
well, you shouldn't feel nervous to say the wrong thing. I mean, you didn't do anything wrong. Like, the thing is that you didn't kill that guy. You're not a bad person. It's good people and bad people. It doesn't matter if you're black or white or yellow or green or blue, or it doesn't matter. There's good people versus bad people. And
if Floyd was a white guy and got murdered the way he did by that same cop,
this wouldn't happen.
Everybody would still be pissed off and want that cop's, in jail
but it wouldn't be this big thing. And and so, like, I don't know, there's just so much. Like I said, I've seen the little clips here and there on the news. I've never seen the whole video about that situation. I think that it's a terrible situation. That guy should have never lost his life. And from what I understand is that, but leading up to when that happened, he was not like resisting like they were trying to say he was or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think that the guy should be charged first-degree murder. And because, like, especially after seeing later on a picture of that same police officer that says "Make America White Again" hat on.
I hadn't seen that.
That was a side-by-side of him.
Jeez.
It was that same cop, and then a picture of him, like, on social media, or just a random picture of him, like, in street civilian clothes.
Yeah. With
that hat on. So it's like, that he felt some kind of way about black people, and so... I don't know. I just think that he should have been charged harsher, and I think that the other officers involved should have been charged. Because you look back at a couple weeks before this, there was that guy that was jogging, and there was the 2 white guys, a dad and a son,
Aubrey,
that were bad people that came and killed that guy.
Yeah. And
then they charged both the dad and the son, but they also charged the guy holding the video camera.
Yep.
And so it makes you think, like, well, if they can go charge some guy for holding the video camera while... when that happened with the jogger, and the reason I'm using that as an example is because it's fresh on my memory from just a few weeks ago, and thinking, like, how crazy is that it's 2020 and we're still hearing about white people just picking out black people to, and doing these things.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So the fact that happened, like, and they got charged. Well, why are these police officers that are supposed to be there for George Floyd, the 3 other ones, why are they not been charged yet? That blows my mind.
That really pisses me off too, because they just stood there.
That's your job, is to protect that man.
Yeah.
It's not like you were standing there holding a video camera and you were scared to involve yourself. Your job is to involve yourself. And there was why weren't you knocking him off of him and saying, all right, bro, calm down?
That's enough. Yeah. There was one shot in one of the videos I saw where all 3 of them were on him at one point, I think trying to get the handcuffs behind him. He may have been resisting. But, and again, I don't know the full story, but it all goes back to a $20 counterfeit bill, which who knows if he even knew it was counterfeit. Like, going back to the very beginning of the story, he walked into a...
Yeah, what is the story?
He walked into a convenience store, gave the clerk a $20 bill that was counterfeit, and...
The clerk called the cops?
And then he calmly got out of his car. They handcuffed him and put him down on the sidewalk and questioned him, and then tried to get him to get up to get into the police car. And that's when he was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I think that's when he was like, I don't want to have to get in your... I don't know if he even knew it was counterfeit or not. I don't know. I don't know.
It doesn't matter who you are. If you're about to go to jail and you didn't know if... Well, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like, we don't... But, like,
I don't know, but...
How many counterfeit... I mean, they always hold up the bills and or swipe them and that kind of thing. And
he didn't want to go to jail. And obviously, for anybody, nobody wants to go to jail. So for obvious reasons, he's probably like, "Whoa, man!"
But I don't even think he resisted that much. But regardless, I think at one point one of the cops did tell Chauvin, or however you say his name, to get off once they got him detained. But he still just sat there. Yeah, it was just.
Do you think that he was like intentionally trying to, or he thought that he was faking, or like do you think he was intentionally trying to kill that man? Because you gotta think that this guy too was looking up and seeing other people filming him do this.
He was looking like right at the cameras and stuff, and I think, I don't know, when you're like. I hear my kids all the time going, "Oh, that hurts," and then 2 seconds later they're laughing. Right. So he kept saying, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe." And so in that power-hungry moment, after you said that about like make America white again and stuff, I would be like, "Ooh, now." Yeah, that's what he may have really had intentions.
That's why I think that he should be charged with first degree. But I mean, I know that's not how the law works or whatever. It's like about what happened there. It's not about a hat you wore last week or whatever. But I don't know. I'm just.
Oh my gosh.
So that happened. Let's talk about the fact, like, what's happened since then. So we've got here in Birmingham, y'all. We're in Alabama, so we're in a place where
deep south.
In the deep south, where we, racism and that topic is a hot button, and it's been for years and years. We have a monument here in Birmingham that's actually, has it been removed?
It has been removed, yes.
So here in our park that we grew up going to, we grew up going down to this park, and we lived in this side of town, and
this entire time, my entire life, I never knew it was a Confederate statue, or it was just like an erect.
It's just a statue, like any statue you see in any downtown. You're just like, oh, there's a statue. You don't. Like, I've
pictures on it. Like, I've sat on because it had little steps going up to it. Yeah, I remember just hanging out around it and stuff.
Yeah,
and never knew about it. But it's
apparently it's a Confederate statue or whatever, and so people were demanding that it comes down. Here in Birmingham, it's like you figure, like I was really hopeful for the peaceful protesters to be able to do their protesting, and do it in peace. But then, and I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be great if Alabama, of like one of these places that people automatically think is so racist and whatever, if we're able to pull off some peaceful protests without all the rioting and the looting and the extra shit,
Yeah.
And so, like, I thought that that's what had happened. I was, like, so proud of Birmingham. And then sure enough, here comes these people that are that are opportunists, that are out to do something for themselves. And, it's like the purge out here now. Now you got people that are scared. Like me personally, I'm scared because I'm seeing on Facebook these people in our community that are talking about how they're going to come to, white neighborhoods and kill white people. And these are not the people that are out here protesting Black Lives Matters peacefully and whatever. These are just people that are, like I said, opportunists that want to break through stores, steal jewelry, steal shoes, steal whatever they can get their grubby hands on, that want to turn this thing that should be this powerful message and this beautiful thing into something that is chaos. And like I said, it's like the purge out here. That's a good segue to talk about the next thing that I was wanting to talk about. Kind of as Trump tweeted out saying he was going to call. I think he's naming Antifa a domestic terrorist organization now. Yeah. So explain what Antifa is? I know you've looked into it. I've heard
it's basically a group of. I think it's fascist. I don't know the acronym Antifa like I should, which is dumb. I know what the meaning of it is, but I'm learning, and that's a good reason why we're doing what we're doing today and not posting it until later. But it's just like
got your attention.
Yeah, because we're sitting here, we're learning about all this stuff. But there's this group of people, and there's been videos, and I don't know if it's quote unquote conspiracy or a conspiracy group or whatever, but after seeing these videos, I'm like 1,000% certain that these are either undercover cops that are doing this, or people that are given bricks or bats going to these protests just to wreak havoc, spray paint. There's been videos of white people spray painting Black Lives Matter, and these black people are saying, "Stop! You're making us look bad."
People are gonna think we did that.
Yeah, we're out here wanting to do a peaceful protest. There's been videos of groups of black people protecting stores from other protesters, opportunistic people trying to like
standing with their hands out in front of Target and CVS. Like, please don't do this. Don't loot. Don't throw bricks through these people's windows. Like. That's what blows my mind, is that we already got coronavirus out here that's got business owners that are struggling.
Oh, I thought about that.
Target, stuff like that. I get that those are big corporations or whatever, but I'm just saying in general, but you've got people that own these little shops that are getting destroyed, that are already struggling because of coronavirus, and now their shops and their livelihood is all gone. These are people with families that got kids. These protesters that are getting hit in the face by cops, or people that have kids that are mothers and sisters and brothers. It's just like,
and who's to blame? Like, at the end of the day, it's like, do you look at the local mayor, or do you look at the president of the United States? Like, that's what's the big question. It's like, what is going on? Like, I woke up this morning and going to bed last night, I was like, what is happening to the world is burning down. Andy Milonakis tweeted, and it's like the third most liked tweet the other day. He said, "Congratulations to the astronauts for leaving the Earth today. Good choice."
Yeah, good choice.
I mean, it's just like,
Doug and Bob.
Why are we doing this? But again, everybody's angry with the whole situation. But going back to Antifa real quick, there was a organized protest that was going to happen in Frisco, Texas yesterday, I think. And all of a sudden, like several hours before the protest, or the day before the protest or something, people that were just out driving started noticing like pallets on a pallet bed of bricks just being placed along the highway under bridges and stuff. What? And they were like posting videos and pictures and being like
organized crime.
Why are pallets of bricks on the side in the path of where this protest is going to be, like just to entice? And I've seen people post videos about a white guy handed this black lady a brick and then just got in his car and drove off, and he got caught up in traffic, and she walked back over and was like, "No, sir, you do not give me this. Why are y'all doing this? Why are y'all trying to make us, get caught with the video of a brick in my hand, or even worse, throw it at somebody because they pissed me off, or throw it through a building or something like that."
That blows my mind that there's folks out here. Those are terrorists. That is exactly what they are. That are out here trying to take something that's supposed to be a positive message and turn it into chaos like this. What this is, what it's become. This is what it's become. It's chaos. I mean, last night, literally, I felt scared for my daughters,
Oh, imagine being a black daughter, or, a black, that's what's I think that goes back to the whole initial argument about this.
That is the argument, is that you shouldn't be in fear because of the color of your skin.
Right.
And I 100% agree with that, and I think that Black Lives Matter, and
I have friends that are interracial. We have, I don't know if Is Rachel even? She's had her. We've been to her wedding and stuff. Our sister is married to a black man, and
my niece and nephew are mixed.
Our niece and nephew.
We don't see color at all, so it's not like it's not a matter of if we think that these like Black Lives Matter. It's not that. That's not the point. The point is like. For what I'm trying to say, I guess, in my opinion, my 2 cents on it is that I wish that I wish that people could go out and protest and could get their point across, and for there to be real change made, and for people to really care and like help each other up and embrace each other, and which there is a lot of that happening.
There's a lot of that going on too.
If you're a cop, if you're a mother, if you're a black man, a white man, like it doesn't matter. I wish that we could all come together and not be divided. And I think that like this is a good thing that they're protesting and that this has become a big deal. And you kind of think, okay, would it have been heard? Would as many media outlets covered it? Would as many people know what was going on and really stood up and paid attention on what's happening in our world right now? If it wasn't for the media covering it, and the media is only covering it because of the riots and because of the negative parts about it, because there's buildings on fire. Would the media have covered the peaceful protest every night this week, or are they only covering it because there was a building that got set on fire? So it all.
It probably would have just been like one story. Yeah, like one story. Oh, everybody's peaceful. Okay, next. Back to COVID or back to whatever Trump tweeted about last night, because they always jump over his tweets. But
so it's like I see both sides of it. I see both sides of everything. I don't think that people should be looting, and I don't think that anybody should fear their life. And I don't think that I don't think invoking fear and white people is the way to get your point across. That I've seen some of that, like in my Facebook feed. I've seen like people saying that they're going to come and murder white people. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's getting your message across. So the people that are doing that, like, shame on you. The people that are setting fire to people's small businesses, shame on you. The people that are turning this around and into something so negative, shame on you.
There was a video yesterday. I'm all about these videos that I keep seeing. There was a video yesterday of a small business owner, and I've seen several of these too, and it's just horrific. This little, I think she was a Chinese lady, and she has a small business. But these looters were had a 2x4. They were trying to protect these looters from going into their store, and he had a 2x4 and just started smashing her over the head. The husband's trying to protect his wife, and it's just like gang mentality. Yeah. And then there was another video where the store owners were flagging down the police that they had just called because they were getting in an argument. These looters were saying they're about to break into their store. And the owner of the store was a black woman telling another, I don't know, I think the looters were black as well. So, but anyway, the cops showed up, and it's just so, what's the word? It's a stigma or I don't know. But they saw the black lady not knowing she was the owner, and immediately went and put her in handcuffs. And the news reporter, it was live on the news. This was while it was being live streamed. She was like, no, that's not.
I'm the one that called you.
I'm the one. She's the one. She's the owner. She's the owner. And so now you got everybody going. He just saw the color of her skin and immediately put her in handcuffs.
That's the mentality that we're trying to change.
And that's right? Not. Yeah. And so I don't know. It's
what blows my mind out of all the videos. And like I said, I've been. In my little bubble at home. So this is the first day that I'm really seeing a lot more of it than I have. But like Cullen just was showing me these videos, and what blows my mind the most out of all this is these police officers that are out here, like these videos of police officers pushing, shoving, shooting, flexing their force, flexing their muscles, and being these power hungry cops, and they're coming out and like physically on peaceful protesters. That is like. That just blows my mind.
Before curfew. And see, like, who's at fault on that again? It's like, why are they doing this? Is it just to invoke fear so other people see that and then won't go out and protest and do it peacefully? Like, those, it's like...
take the uniform off. These are just people. And so their mentality is whatever their mentality is. You know what I mean? Like, you've got black officers and white officers and Chinese officers and Mexican officers. Like, there's police officers are people's fathers or wives or mothers or whatever. These are real people.
Yeah.
Okay? And just because they have all this gear on doesn't mean that there's not a person underneath it. So it comes down to, is that a good person or a bad person?
Yeah. Well, and that's what got me with the whole situation is like at the end of the day, George Floyd was a dad. I'm pretty sure he was a dad and a son. You know, and it's just like a brother.
His brother
it's
was
like
on the news. I saw that part where he was like crying, like, please don't do this. Don't make his life about this chaos and the destruction and the rioting and stuff. Yeah.
I think I retweeted this. It's a riot going on across the world, on the other side of the world.
That's in New Zealand?
In New Zealand. And I mean, look how peaceful and calm and relaxed. If y'all have seen this, then you know what I'm talking about. It's got like 10.7 million views. But I mean, it is just miles and miles of road closed off with these people protesting peacefully across the world. I mean, this is like a global, just like the global pandemic. This is like a global
thing. Yeah, this is trending.
Global justice, I guess, is what people. Or I don't know. It's a hard topic to.
It's not like it's just in America. You know what I mean? There's racism everywhere, and there's problems all over the world, and it's just crazy that in the middle of this pandemic, then this is happening too, and it's heartbreaking, and I feel so bad for all of the lives that have been taken because of the color of somebody's skin. I think that's bullshit, and it makes me angry. At the same time, it's like I don't know. I'm trying to stay home with my kids and just be and be ignorant into it, and maybe I'm wrong for that.
I know that's what I keep looking at it, like all these people out there. And like I said, my brain telling myself 10 years ago I'd have been out there doing this, but like I'm scared for my life. I'm scared for my kids' lives, and so why risk that when
it comes down to like just wanting to protect?
Am I being selfish? Probably, and I
see things like that show up in my feed that are like, well, you the white privilege is being able to turn the other cheek and all this stuff, and I'm like, but I didn't choose what color I was when I was born either, I just want to protect my family and be at home with
White privilege is a thing, though. Like, how many times have you seen me do something stupid out in public and like running across shopping carts or like knocking something over in the store, and I could get away with it because I'm just some goofy white kid? Yeah. I think that's the way you look at it. I heard Logan Paul say that too. Like, how much crap.
Logan Paul probably,
like how much stuff do you get away with because of the color of your skin, and how much judgment do you get because of the color of your skin? I think white privilege, it definitely is a thing because, it just is. Yeah. It's just how it is. It's not.
No, I agree 100%. Yeah, but we didn't. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But we didn't choose it, just like you didn't choose your color, and
they didn't choose. It's just we're all in the. I want to hear. I would love to hear a mom on the Don't Tell Mom podcast, her take on all of this, because she's worked through the education system with so many inner city kids and so many underprivileged kids and people of color. And on her retirement day, when she retired, she was just mobbed by all these kids. And again, I didn't even look at the color of their skin, but when I'm thinking back on it, I was like...
There may have been out of 100 kids, there might have been 2 that were white.
And they were just loving on her, and she was just giving them kisses and hugs, and like knew their mom and dad's names, and like saying that they could come over and swim with her this summer. It was just like... The example our parents set for us, I think, was the way it made us the way we are. People are people. We all have the same color blood, and that's it's
sad. It's sad that all this stuff is going on, but I hope that it does cause some change. And I think, what do you think? Do you think that it's gonna?
Well, when does this end?
This is so big right now. This is
how does it get calmed down? Trump came out last night and said, send in the National Guard or even the U.S. military to your state if it doesn't stop with the looting and stuff.
Yeah.
But then he goes on to disrupt. Then he disrupts a peaceful protest right after that. I don't know. Like, when does this end? I don't think it ever will. As far as
do you think that it's doing some change and like making things I think that it's so big that this has got to. It's thought provoking, right? It's got to like change people a little bit. Do you think that the people that are that are racist are just going to be stuck that way forever, or there's no changing them and that mentality. Like, a part of me wants to believe that there's the change is that we're capable of change, and that people that have such narrow mindsets and that are that do think so poorly about somebody because of the color, that I want to believe that they can change, but a part of me is like, they're not going to change.
I don't think deep down, I mean, I think...
Like a racist piece of shit, redneck with the, with the Confederate flag flying and the shotgun, he's never going to change his... Right. I just don't... I feel like he's lost. He's a lost hope. Like,
yeah. Well, I just hope it, like, this is all doing is bringing awareness to everything as far as that goes. And, like, even today, I was out shopping with my kids at the grocery store, and it's hard not to think that the black family that I pass by, or I bump buggies in, as we're passing each other, and I say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Right after that, I'm like, "Oh, are they thinking that I don't like them because of the color of their skin?" Like, I'm having to think about the way they think about me when it's just the whole awareness is like really heightened right now, but again, I didn't even think about the color. I think the only thing...
I think it goes both ways. I think that I've received hate from people because of the color of my skin. I think that racism isn't white against black. I think it's anybody against somebody of a different color. Like, if you don't think that there's black people that are racist against white people, you're wrong. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you are. There's plenty of black people that hate white people just because we're white. So it's not like it's only... I'm probably going to get a bunch of shit for saying that, but it's true.
No, I mean,
you don't know that it's true,
facts,
that's true. So, of course, it's way worse the other way. And but it's scary to think like that. I feel like it's dividing us more right now than it is bringing us together. And I wish that it would bring us together. Like you said in the video, there's like these black ladies that are there to protest Black Lives Matter peacefully, and then there's this white ladies, and they all have the coverings on their face, so you can't even see who they are.
That doesn't help with the looting.
And the black girl's yelling at the white girl, like, "Stop tagging the building, Black Lives Matter. We didn't ask you to do that." You know what I mean? So it seems like it's dividing people. They're there for the same cause, and they're at each other's throats, yelling at each other because you're doing it in a disrespectful way, and whereas the black girl's trying to do it in an honest, peaceful way
with a poster and a walking stick,
right?
Like
it's crazy
versus a piece of spray can or a can of spray paint and a brick. I don't know, man. This is just the surface. This is the beginning of it all.
Yeah, we got curfew here in Birmingham.
Talk about it. Yeah, I mean,
they're apparently taking that statue down. It's 7.
Okay, because I think in some cities or states, I heard it was 11. And I'm like,
in New York, it's 11. Here, it's 7 o'clock.
That's like when it's like that's just crazy to me. Like,
it's 7 o'clock.
That's a late curfew.
Businesses are closed. Like, I was just at the I was just like running errands, and I see all the signs on everybody's door that says because of the curfew, we'll be closing at 6:30 every night for the remainder of the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you need to do something, you got to do it before. I don't want to go out at night anyway. We're literally like trying to sit at the door with guns and bats and stuff, so looters, whatever color you are, don't come in our house and harm me and my children.
I need to look up the results of this video I saw last night, but I think they were I think the government in D.C. Was trying to make a statement about the curfew and enforce it, but there was a video where these cops basically at curfew marched everybody back into this little area of houses where nobody could get out. I think it's called kettling, when you kettle somebody or a group of people. They herding them basically up to a brick wall to where they couldn't get out. And they said that the video said in the description that the cops were non-responsive. They didn't answer any questions when people were like, "What are y'all doing?" It was past. I think it was just past curfew, but then a quick update was that they were plucking men mainly out of the crowd and then taking them off one by one to either arrest them or charge them. I'm sure we'll hear more about this by the time this podcast is posted. But
that's interesting.
I wonder if they're trying to make a statement about it, and or do a background check on any of them to make even a bigger statement saying you're a convicted felon, or you've got a warrant out for your arrest, or
it's just making it worse.
Yes,
it's making it worse.
It's crazy. At the end of the day, I don't know when it's going to end.
I hope that the people that are out protesting and are trying to do it peacefully get out and they're safe and they make it home. I mean, at this point, it's like, I hope you make it home tonight, because if the guy standing next to you that's not there to be peaceful acts out and you get shot because of it,
I keep thinking the worst. Like, what if
I got friends that are going to protest and I'm worried for their safety and their lives, and
well, I just keep thinking, like, what if there's one of those racist white guys or anybody, that a foreigner or whoever, that, whatever the case may be, and in the middle of this, a big ass pipe bomb goes off,
right,
or something.
If there's really a terrorist kind of organization, right, like you were saying,
like, that would be like, oh my gosh, like, it's on top of
coronavirus going through.
Yeah, and then you got buildings burning behind them. I mean, it's just like, golly, we are literally.
Have you ever heard of the Doomsday Clock?
Yeah, I think
we've talked about it a little bit, but it's like a conspiracy, basically, like the Doomsday Clock, and when the clock strikes 12, then the world is going to end, and I just feel like it's so close. I feel like, is this the year that the world ends? Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah. I think Katie said she had some friends yesterday posting about how they were at Walmart, and the protests in our local city were getting pretty heated in our area. They were walking up and down Highway 31, and tow trucks were having to tow cars that were blocking the road and stuff like that. But they were in Walmart shopping, and they came over the intercom and said, "We got to close the doors. You have 5 minutes to get out." And
really?
Kicked everybody out of Walmart because they needed to get everybody out of there before, just to be safe, I guess.
Yeah, before it's.
It is like, what? This is just insane. Like. What is going on? Anyway.
My hormones are crazy enough to be feeling this too. Like, God, I'm like already crying every day.
We need to get an update on all that. We need to get an update on the astronaut situation, and then
that makes me happy. Is the astronaut story?
Carol Baskin,
Doug and Bob, or what?
Doug and Bob.
Is that their names? Doug and Bob, or is it Ben?
Rob and Doug.
Robin Day, something. I don't know. Those guys are my heroes, and I'm so jealous. I wish I was an astronaut, and I wish I got to leave to go into outer space and get all this. I mean, I'm sure the view is much better from up there than it is from down here right now.
Yes,
and it's crazy.
I feel like we could have articulated this a little bit better, but this is just kind of off the cuff, if you will. And
literally, I've been in a bubble at home. Like, I've watched a little bit of the news, but until. Right before we filmed this, I hadn't seen any of the stuff Cullen just showed me, and it's just, like, my heart sank because the people that are getting, like, women getting beat in the face by police officers in full SWAT gear, and guys tear gassing, peaceful protesters, and God, it's just making it so much worse, and I feel like our president, I feel like there's so many people that are just out there to throw gas on the fire and to fuel the flames, and it's sad that there's those crazy batshit motherfuckers out there, like the guys that are coughing and they have coronavirus that are licking the rails. It's those kind of people, these murderous bad people, and I wish all the bad people would just go home and stop.
So here's a question to end with: is the chant? I think that. The first chant is Black Lives Matter, and that is very true. But the second chant is no justice, no peace. So if there was justice for this incident, I know there's way many more instances, but this is the one I think that's ignited all this mainly. I mean, obviously obviously it's been a series of events. But if there was justice, then would that... leave in the comments below, what do y'all think it'll take for this to change and to get us back to quote-unquote normalcy, a normal society, normalcy.
Can we all just love each other and get along?
Well, yeah, I feel like we're going back to where we can't drink out of the same water fountain type scenarios.
That's what it feels like. It feels like we're taking a step back, unfortunately, because of the people that are there.
If the other 4 police officers get either murdered themselves or arrested and put in jail for life, or justice is served.
As soon as they get to prison, they're gonna somebody's gonna shank them anyway.
Yeah. And I just heard that the other guy, the first guy, the main guy, got moved to maximum security. But guess who I think was in maximum security? Jeffrey Epstein. He still managed to kill himself. So that's my first thought. I was like, this guy's gonna kill himself, and then there's no justice necessarily. So if there's justice, then will there be peace? I don't know.
I hope so.
That's a good question
I guess
to
we're
end
going to
on.
stay tuned and find out.
Y'all let us know what you're doing to be safe out there in the world.
Leave us voice memos. Tell us your thoughts and opinions on it. We like to hear that kind of stuff from y'all because y'all listen to us.
Yes, and thank you, Mama, if you're listening to this, for bringing us up the way you did to
love everybody.
Love everybody equally, and love everybody equally. We love all of y'all watching, no matter what the color of your skin is.
You can tell your mama that.
Yeah, run and tell that.
Yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for
watching.
Yeah, hug each other.
Listening.
Love each other. Thank y'all for listening. Watching.
Just don't kiss each other yet if you're strangers, because wear a mask or something.
6 feet.
But yeah. All right, that does it for episode 102.
Thanks for watching.
Peace. Don't tell Mom. Peace. I screwed that up.